So I think I got a fun one. I think this whole film journey is really taking me back to some really good memories and good times. I went and found my old high school Nikon and purchased that, and I've been shooting with that, and that's been a lot of fun. And then my dad gave me that Leica M4P, which has been great. But it's really been kind of having me go take a look at the old days, right? In the old days, there was no Instagram. There was, you'd have an album, right? Somebody'd come over to your house. You'd want to share a little bit about who you were, or you had some old friends, and you'd remember the good times, and you go down memory lane, and you'd open up the book, and you'd go through page by page, and there was no Instagram. And there's a lot of great photos in there that, as a matter of fact, last night I was going through some of those photos and seeing my college days, and it brought me to realize that there's a reason why I bought this recent camera. And this is the Olympus, what does this say? This is the Olympus mju. It didn't say that when I bought mine. So that's this camera right here. It's a little film camera, a little point and shooter. I'm gonna give you a little review of this camera, but I used this for years. In the 90s. Matter of fact, I think it was 1992. I was out of college. I'd come home for, I think, summertime, and I was going to a friend's wedding. My mom was there, and she gave me this camera as a gift, for getting home, because not sure why she did it. Matter of fact, she was more into photos at the time than I was, and it was this little camera, and I thought, why on earth is she giving me this little camera? And maybe because I was doing photography in high school, but by that time I wasn't really shooting a lot, right? I'd gotten into video. Actually, I was running around with a video camera, but there wasn't a lot of evidence in those years that I was going to be a big camera guy. Maybe she just remembered when I was younger, but she gave me this camera, and I remember I went out to a party that night and had so much fun just taking pictures, of my friends and new friends, and nobody carried cameras back then. I mean, there was no Instagram. Like I said, our Instagram was our albums, and almost nobody had many albums or many pictures. And that's when I started, it was fun, right? And I think I can see why Facebook blew up back in the day, because, my friends and I would love to take the camera out and take pictures of parties. I mean, I had this thing in my pocket everywhere. I would get pictures of fights. I would get pictures of family events. I would get pictures of travels and journeys and visiting friends. I used to go to like my friends' colleges, and my college was really small, and there wasn't a lot of parties on the weekends. So sometimes I'd go visit my friend at San Luis Obispo, and I'd have all these memories and pictures, and we'd go scuba diving up there in Morro Bay, and this picture captured all those adventures. So if you're thinking about a film camera, and maybe you don't want something that's manual, that you gotta whip out, and you gotta use a light meter, or you've gotta get it in focus, and then you've gotta figure out the f-stop and make sure that your exposure's right. By then, all the moments are passing, right? Don't get me wrong. I mean, I get that some people, and I caught a lot of moments with an SLR camera. However, when you got a point and shoot and you see it, boom, that was it. This thing would fit right in my pocket. And right now, if you want to capture moments in film, which I just started doing, and it's so much fun, people get a kick out of you having a camera like this, but also just the memories. Like, I'm rebuilding a photo album that I haven't had in a long time. It's been so long since I've had a photo album, and mine are starting to build up. But you're at a party, or you're at a gathering, or a family event, or you're traveling, and this thing, you can just fit it right in your pocket. You take it out, it's protected with this little shield right here, which I love, because I just beat the heck out of this thing when I was younger, and I'm starting to beat it up now because I'm using it again. And you just whip it out. It takes a little battery, and you've got a flash on here. This is on auto. The nice thing is you can change that. So I change it to. We'll just go, just put it on there, and you boom, and you're like, boom. I don't know if you catch that, but yeah. So when you start shooting that flash off like that, people get a big kick out of that. Your iPhones don't have flashes like that. Yeah, this thing's awesome. So if you're looking at getting one of these, super durable. I've heard some challenges as they've getting older with some of the sealing on these. This one that I got is great. I can tell you, I made it all the way through the 90s with this thing. I mean, Lake Havasu, going to parties up in Slow, going scuba diving in Catalina Island, scuba camping trips. This thing is a durable little AK-47. I mean, it just takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So if you're thinking about getting one of these, I think these days, I think they're a couple $100. There are some cheaper cameras, but I do like the sleekness of this. Fits easily in and out of your pocket. You don't worry about it. I mean, look, this thing's what, 1990? I mean, this thing's 30-something years old, and it's still in good shape and still shooting. So if you want a good, durable camera, it's plastic, but it's held up the test of time. So I would say if you're looking for a little pointer shooter film camera, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this little Olympus. I think at the time it was like an Infinity, I can't even remember, Infinity something or other. But this is the MJU. I like this one. This happens to be the 30, what is it? Let's see my glasses. It is the 35 millimeter equivalent. It doesn't have zoom. I didn't want zoom. I didn't want something, the zoom made it a bigger camera, and I wanted the sleekest camera possible. So that's why I chose the 35 millimeter. This is a f3.5. So if you're looking, like this kind of camera, you don't need a super duper shallow depth of field, right? That's not what this is for. I mean, you'll get some of those. So I wasn't worried about that. And I took so many pictures with this thing that it didn't matter. They were great. This is for capturing memories. You want to do art, you want to get all crazy, get yourself a Leica or get, like I said, an old film camera where you're going to do everything manual. That's great. I have one of those. I love that experience. But for what this is, I didn't want the zoom. Plus, it's just more stuff that can go wrong with it. It's simple. I mean, this thing is so simple. So I don't know. I just want to say I got tons of incredible memories with this camera. If you want to capture some of yours and you want to capture them on film and print them out and keep them in a little album for the coffee table. I think the only problem now is I have albums on the coffee table and nobody knows what they are. They're just big fat books with fat pages and there's no title on them and nobody wants to open them up. But if you like that kind of thing, then I'd recommend it. And yeah, man, I got so many memories with this thing. So hopefully you'll get some of yours.